knows. Watch the tape. He's here to make us feel better, worse about Justin Fields. Who the hell knows? Trent, thank you as always for the time. What did you see?
I feel way better about Justin Fields. I think I feel worse about the Bears.
Okay. I said it was Fields' best game of the year by far. But that,
not even close. Yes,
but it wasn't saying much, and I still felt like I saw him play better last year at times than this year. So let's start with Fields specifically. What did you like?
I'll try to keep it quick because last week I feel like I just pontificated the whole time.
We like that though. We like when you talk.
Okay, decisive, really decisive. Rip some balls in the middle of the field off action. Beautiful deep ball. An amazing throw on the third down. Helmet shot to Pettis that Pettis drops. Movement skills are fantastic. Scrambles. That playmaker bucket, we'll go back to the buckets. I know you guys like that. Yeah. So the playmaker bucket was evident. And you see, this is what happens. And I did it too. I didn't watch the game live. I watched it on replay. So I looked at the box score first and I'm like, oh, that was stupid because you see, 11 of something. It didn't look real impressive. And then you see, it's 2 drops. There's 2 to 3 throwaways. And there's 2 knockdowns that aren't his fault. So let's just say there's only 2 throwaways instead of 3. I'd credit him for 3, but let's say 2. Now you're looking at 6 kind of others in the incompletions. So those aren't on him. He had 2 misses. He missed a swing route to the right, and he underthrew an outbreaking route to his right. I can't remember what down that was. It was kind of low at the ankles when it should have been more low outside hip. But besides that, he did a lot of really good things. He didn't get protected. He made chicken soup out of chicken you-know-what a couple times. And he converted some big third downs. I mean, that he played really, really decisively, and considering what he was asked to do. And again, we got to frame this in what they can do, what they're asking him to do pretty well. Now, the fumble, the ball slipping out of his hand, I had not seen that outside of a cold weather game. I've had it happen to me a couple times in my quarterback life. Usually it's when the temperatures are around freezing, the ball gets heavy and slick. The conditions didn't seem that bad in New York. So anytime there's a turnover, it's a bad thing. I will say that you can never grade out really well if you turn the ball over as a quarterback. But just for the Bears fans looking for the context here, does Justin get better this week? Yes, he got much better this week.
Wow. That is not something that's been said a lot today in the Chicago media market. I feel, and a lot of others have said, so help us out, that it still looks like he is not seeing what he needs to see as he drops back, and when he gets to the back of the pocket, those plays where he needs to throw because the pressure's there to check down and take those throws, that is not there. There was a stat that came out from Pro Football Focus that in his game so far, he's had 49 throws under pressure and converted only 5 of them into completions. And I know it's asking a lot, but this is what the league is, that you have to convert those into completions. Do you feel like he is seeing what he needs to see as he's dropping back and is ready to make those quick throws?
Yesterday, yes. The only flaw that PFF has, and I like those guys, I've known those guys forever, I think they do a great job, is they don't understand the why of the play. They're doing data analysis without knowing the why on some of the plays and the what. Who's supposed to be where, why is he supposed to be there, what is he supposed to be looking at? Based off TV copy yesterday, I can't think of one play, and there might be one that I'm missing in my again, I didn't chart this, but I can't think of one that his eyes weren't in the right place. I'll give you a great example. When they're backed up and he throws the ball way to his left, they get double A gap pressure, which by the way is terrible by the center. Well, let's get into this because teams are picking on the center and right guard. So, and that's a tough thing when you're a quarterback, when you know your center and right guard are square players and they're asking to play a lateral game. So teams are asking to play a lateral game and they're square players. So he gets inside pressure, a basic Mike Will stunt inside that should be easily picked up. But the Mike has a right slide call. There's nobody to slide to. He should drop straight back, stone the first guy, back comes in, stones the second guy. Clement does a really good job of poking the one high coverage safety, his outside leverage, crosses his face. Justin's eyes are right there, ready to put it on his outside pad, and the guy's up in his grill. So, yeah, this is what the guys on local talk radio aren't watching. This is what PFF doesn't understand, is that, and you watch him based on what his job is and what he's being coached to do. This is yesterday. Yesterday, his starting point with his eyes, his progressions were right on point. And he just, I mean, it's nearly impossible when you have inside pressure all day long. I don't care who you are. This same type of pressure melted Tom Brady. It's melted Aaron Rodgers. It's melted Peyton Manning. I said it every week is on ESPN when I was there for 9 years. The kryptonite to any quarterback is immediate A-gap pressure in your face. I don't care who you are. When that pocket gets pushed back or there's free runners inside, your number one job is to protect the ball. If you step up and try to throw into that, you're risking ball security. So he's actually doing a great job, or did a great job yesterday, navigating some waters that were incredibly muddy.
We're talking to Trent Dilfer here, Parkins Spiegel on the score. There was the play where they're down 14-6. It's 3rd and 10. They're at the Giants' 35-yard line, 3 minutes or so left in the first half, and he takes off and runs for the 12-yard gain, and they get a first down. Darnell Mooney was in the left slot, running up the left seam.
Yes, and they showed it. They showed an end zone copy of it.
Right, and he was wide open. Mooney, Trent, today has fallen on the sword and said it's a 4 vertical play. I think I was missing. I was supposed to be more to the right. It has something to do with learning the playbook more. Fields is looking to the right. I wasn't there. I ran the wrong route. And Eberflus said basically, he said it's a basic play. It's just vertical 4 vertical. Mooney on that one is supposed to be bending across the formation. He's supposed to be bending across. He was not supposed to go vertical. I think that kind of caught him off guard a little bit, but he certainly had time on that. He certainly had time and could have rode the pocket more, but he decided to take it because what we were telling him is to take the check down or run on that when they're in that defense.
Yes.
So I guess my question is that a sign that Fields is being a little too robotic? If, Mooney made a mistake, but Fields should be able to improvise in that spot, or is that entirely not on the quarterback?
No, it's not on the quarterback. I'll give you the why behind it. It's actually, I'm glad you gave me some context there, because I thought 2 things. You look at the play side safety, so they show that end zone copy, and you see Mooney and who's ever the number 2 receiver, the slot receiver, running up on the play side safety.
Yeah.
And now I'm 50 years old. Right? I've been around football forever. It's really easy for my eye to say, oh, he could have naturally bent him into that hole because the safety's eyes turn to number 2. Do you guys understand how we number receivers? Mm-hmm. Outside in, 1, 2, 3. So the 2 receivers running the seam, and the safety's eyes go to the seam. Mooney's number 3. He's supposed to bend that a little bit and get to that middle pocket between the split safeties. Justin's eyes have to see the backside safety. So this is what the fan doesn't understand. You have to check the backside safety to make sure it's not a poach coverage. What a poach coverage is a too high look where the backside safety cheats to number 3 strong side. Aaron Rodgers made a similar interception a couple weeks ago against the Bucs. It wasn't a poach safety, it was a lurk safety, but he had number 3 running across the middle. He didn't ID the backside lurker safety, and he throws it right to the Bucs safety. Okay? Or is that the Bears? Wait a second. What game am I on? Anyways, Aaron Rodgers, did you guys play was that the Eddie Jackson interception?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Eddie Jackson's he's had 3 of them this year. Yeah.
He had one against the Niners. The Niners, you might be thinking of.
I'm thinking the Niners. Okay, no, I'm thinking of Rodgers versus the Bucs. Yes.
Okay.
I was right the first time. That backside safety, Aaron doesn't check. One of the greatest players that's ever put on cleats. Doesn't check the backside poach safety, is actually a lurk safety, kind of the same thing, and he picks him off. So my point is this. I love that Justin is trusting that number 3 is going to work to the middle of the field, and I'm going to ID this backside safety to make sure that he's not poaching. Now, you also see from the end zone copy that Justin, as he's looking at that, also sees the running back, I think it's Herbert at the time, go and make a move on this in this massive running lane to his right, and he takes off and get the first down. To me, that's nice intuition, because what you talk about with the quarterback is starting point. Do his eyes start in the right place? If they start in the right place and then they're married to his feet as if you had a string attached from your eyelids to your shoelaces, and every time your eyes move, your feet go with them. That's progression passing. Starting point, feet married to eyes. That's what you're looking for if a quarterback is looking at the right stuff. On that one, his eyes start in the right place. His starts to climb, his feet go forward, his eyes go forward, and he makes an intuitive play and runs forward for a first down.
See, this is fascinating. So what a lot of us are trying to figure out and are concerned with is whether he's getting better in reading the defenses, progressing through his reads, and his eyes being in the right place right away. And Trent Dilfer saw yesterday as a step forward in that stuff, right, Trent? Because that's and people, if that's true, that's great. But it's hard to see that and believe that as we watch the game in this town.
Well, what you're going to fight in this, and this is natural, nobody's fault on this. You're going to fight, and this is why stats aren't important when you're a player until you become a coach, because you realize stats create narratives. And the narrative when the stats aren't good is that he was bad. That will be the starting point for the narrative. And I think it's the job of people that actually care about truth, not narratives, to say, hey, some weeks that's going to be true. Some weeks it's absolutely a stinker on the stat page, and it played out that way in the game. Bad game equaled bad stats. Sometimes for a quarterback, bad stats equal bad players, bad scheme, bad play calls, but you actually did your job, right? And that's why I think grading out, I'll always talk about how he would grade out. Now, I'm not his coach. I don't know their grading system. I'll use a grading system that I went through at multiple teams. I would have graded him out in the 80s. He would have been an 86, an 88, 85, somewhere in there, because he was decisive. His eyes started in the right place. He hit, for the most part, open receivers. There's a lot of stuff that were out of his control. He had a couple double pluses. So the way you grade this is, you have a minus, a flat, which is just did your job, a plus, which is something really good, and then a double plus, which is exceptional. And you usually don't have many double pluses in a game. He had a couple double pluses, a couple of scrambles, and then the deep ball to Mooney is an incredible throw. I would give him a couple double pluses. He would have been in the mid to high 80s.
Good stuff with Trent Dilfer, and congratulations on Lipscomb Academy, by the way, continuing to be undefeated. Last thing this week, Trent. You mentioned some of the offensive line problems that the Bears have. How little does Justin Fields have to work with when we're talking about pass protection and pass catchers?
I don't hate their pass catchers. I think Mooney has a chance to be a really good player. I love the tight end. I think he's a good player. I think they can use their back. So I'd say, okay in pass catchers. Run blocking, they're square players, forward square players. That means they need to play at their shoulder square, the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
They're going to be good in run blocking. They're going to really struggle in pass protection. There's no fixing it. They're just so you know, there's no cure to this. Now you can get better and put in pass protection schemes that are more full slides, more full gaps, covering up the inside players. But yeah, center, right guard are going to get picked on. The center's getting destroyed. The center's getting picked on, and it's going to happen the rest of the year.
Okay, so there is no solving the pass protection with the current personnel. That's
not for extended drop back third and must known pass situations.
Yep,
it's known pass situations that you guys are going to struggle with. That's why you're seeing so many bootlegs on first down. Or actually, by the way, they didn't call a lot of passes on first down. I charted the first half, 12 runs out of 15 first downs based on a really quick run through the box score. Now, 3 of those were scrambles. 1 was a sack. So I had 4 more. So it'd still be 8 out of 15 were called runs. It's going to be tough in known pass situations to be successful. You're going to have to use play action, and you're going to have to throw in known run situations. So you're going to have to throw in 3rd and 2. You're going to have to throw in 3rd and 1. You're going to have to be 65% throw first on first down to protect those offensive linemen. Old Mike Holmgren stuff. That's what Mike Holmgren did for years in Green Bay.